Welcome, my dears. Today's topic is valid and invalid elements. What are the various types of XML elements that we learned previously, in which what are the kind of mistakes we will be doing with XML elements, attributes as well as text, that we are going to discuss. The various types of XML elements can be element with child elements, element with attribute, element with text, element with text as well as attribute, and also an element which is carrying an empty element. These are the various types of XML elements that we learned already. Now, when we create the various types of XML elements, we will be having some mistakes while creating an XML element. So, we should be very careful about creating elements that should be very close to the content or the actual information. Say for example, we are going to create element called course. The course, we have to highlight various courses like BCA, MCA, MTech, BTech. These are the courses that should be included as child elements or an attribute. Here, element with the child elements, the course element which is having 3 child elements. Actually, the first child BCA, second child MCA, and the third child BTech. In this, the 3 elements are created, in which the first element, you can see here, the first element has been closed force, which is called force closed element, and this BCA element does not carry any child element for us. So, BCA has been closed in force, which means explicitly this is empty element. It should not carry any child element or attribute or any text for it. That's what this is closed in force. Force close, the sense it does not have slash BCA. It is not necessary here, because we know that the BCA element should not carry any child or text for it, so that this BCA element has been closed in force. This is also a correct application. Second one, MCA and duration equal to, within double quotes I have given 2 years. This is element which is having additional information about MCA course, so that the attribute which can be used for exploring the particular element, that is duration equal to 2 years. So, duration is an attribute equal to, within double quotes, 2 years has been given. This is actually value, attribute, duration, value 2 years. MCA has been closed with closing tag slash MCA. Is it right or wrong? It is also right approach. Here MCA which is having only one attribute, which is duration, and it has been closed without having any text for it, without having any child elements for MCA. Normal closed element, but MCA also an empty element as like BCA. When we are going to use slash, that is force close or normal close, in the sense it is based on the need, whether we need to have any content in future. Based on that, we can go for normal close or force close. Force close, in the sense it should not carry any child text for it. If we close like this, normal closed element, in the sense it may or may not have any content for it. So it is optional, in the sense we can go for normal close. Otherwise, if it is explicit, in the sense you can go for force close. So I can write the student element does not carry any child element, any text for it. It is only for hidden. In the sense, just you can make it as force close. Suppose student element may or may not have any child or any text, because in this way we have created the student element. It may or may not have child in future. In the sense, you can go for normal close. This is the difference between force closed element, normal closed element. Look at the BTech I have created with some mistakes. Can you identify that? The mistake is actually double quotes. The double quotes can be written as ampersand QUOT semicolon. This is predefined entity. If we are going to give double quotes in our text area, in the sense it should be only ampersand quote semicolon wherever we need double quote. Suppose we want to have single quote, in the sense we can use ampersand apostrophe APOS semicolon. This will replace or this will add single quote wherever we need, so that the BTech element has not having ampersand in this location, ampersand QUOT. Actually, it should be written like this, and this place also we have to write QUOT. So this will add double quotes in this place before 4 and after years. The double quote will be added. When we are going to look this XML content on web browser, it will be added. So automatically the XML parser will add double quote. And what are the entities? Predefined entities, also called special entities, used in our document that can be transformed automatically. Look at the second one, element with attributes. We know that attributes are providing additional information about an element. Whether we should go for attribute or element, that is also based on the element. the content what we have. Either I can go for creating attribute for BCA as duration like this, or I can create duration as child element for BCA. Based on the available content or retrieval process, we have to decide whether we should go for attribute based or element based. One more important information about attribute or element is attribute or exploring one particular element, but element can explore the category or division of the particular element. So only small differences between using attribute as well as element. Before creating the skeleton, we have to decide. Here the BCA is an element which is having duration equal to 3 years. This is valid because duration is an attribute. It has text 3 years. It is double quoted properly closed, so that this BCA is valid. Second, BCA space duration has been given. The duration is assumed as attribute, in the sense the value is missing. The value is missing. So duration equal to, within double quotes, 3 years or 2 years, depends on the element what we have taken can be given. So actually the duration is incomplete one, so that this is invalid. This XML element BCA is invalid because the duration is an attribute not fixed with value. And one more invalid, that is the double quote has been used here. Actually we should not use double quotes, single quotes, greater than symbol, less than symbol, as well as ampersand, because these are special entities, these are special symbols. These symbols will make lot of conflicts on our XML document. So we have to use, in this place we can use the special entities. In that way, this element which is having some invalid structure. Next, the element with text as well as attribute, which means the element which is carrying both text as well as attribute. You can see here the course is a element which is having one child element. What is that? That is BCA. I can say element with child element. Course is an element which is having child element called BCA. Next, the BCA is an element which is having attribute as well as text. What is the text? Eligibility +2 with pass grade. Is there is any mistakes? No, because the eligibility +2, these are the symbols, plus, minus, any symbol other than, greater than, less than, ampersand, single quote, double quote we can use. So in that way, this element BCA which is carrying text, which is right. So text can be given between opening and closing element. This is opening element, this is closing element. While creating element, we have to understand the concept why we create the particular element. The element should explore the information what it is going to have. In that way we have to create element. Element structure also very important. The structure, the sense how many child elements it is going to have, any text it is going to have, how many attributes. Sometimes the same child element can be repeated more than once. That is called number of occurrences. We have to specify everything, which is called structure of an XML document. Structure of XML document can be set with the help of schema as well as document type definition. We will learn this DTD and schema in unit 2. This is for your better understanding. I am saying that XML elements will explore the entirety about itself. We have to create the elements only based on the content, what we are going to make them as XML document. So here this XML, entire XML document is valid. It has proper opening tag, closing tag, small case, here also small case, entire element also following the proper case, lower case or upper case. Sometimes you may start with the capital C, and also the end element closing tag also should have capital C. So these are the flexibility can be given for the authors for creating an element. We have to follow the rules while making an XML document. Next, what we have is empty element. We may do some mistakes with empty element creation. Empty element does not carry any child or text for it, but the element may have attribute. Here also you can see the duration equal to 3 years has been given, and additional attribute is given, which is eligibility. This is empty element or not? This is empty element. Why? Because it does not carry any text as well as child element for it, so that this is empty element. As I discussed earlier, if we know the element should not carry any text or child elements, it is not optional, it is compulsorily should not carry any text or child element. In the sense, you can go for force close. This is the way the element can be closed. So you need not to include this. Suppose the element may be having child elements or text. In the sense, the element can be closed like this, the way I have written. So the same way it should be written. This is closed normally, this is opening element, and this is closing element. We know that why we have not given closing angle bracket here, because it has attribute duration as well as eligibility, so that it has not closed like this. We have not included. That way this element is called empty element, which is written properly without having any mistakes. We should be very careful about creating the elements, if it is empty, in the sense definitely we should follow where we need to mention this is empty, this is non-empty, or this element may have more than one child element, or the element will be repeated more than once. In the sense, these are written in DTD or in XML schema. You can say whether this element is valid or invalid. I can say syntactically this is right, but semantically this is wrong. What is that? Syntax. In the sense, the tag must be created with the proper text that we have. Opening angle bracket followed by a text which is Pradeep, and it has one attribute, and it has a text and also the closing tag /Pradeep, so that the element has created with opening tag, closing tag, one attribute and a text, so that I can say this is right XML element, so that this is, I can say this is syntactically correct but semantically wrong. What do you mean by semantics here? We have to create an XML document based on the content. Actually, the student name is Pradeep, who is studying BCA course. This is the actual information. How can it be written? In the sense, the student attribute is name and its content, its text is, its values Pradeep, who is studying BCA course. This is, I have written in green color, this is syntactically right as well as semantically right. By reading the XML element, we should be able to extract the information. The first element also syntactically right, but in the future, if you are going to access student, if I am going to repeat 1000 student, the sense all the element, just I can say retrieve first student, second, third, fourth. Accordingly, the relevant content can be retrieved. So we should be very clear about creating element, attribute, its value and text. If I am asking you what is your age, you may say 18, 24. In the sense, it is right. If you say I am doing BCA course, the sense it is wrong, because for a question you are giving some answer. In the sense, it is syntactically right. The answer is right or wrong, that we are not identifying that. But if I am expecting you to give proper answer, what is your age? If you give 24, 28, 32, the sense this is syntactically as well as semantically wrong, semantically right. I can say the XML also created based on all this need. I have to be very careful about creating the element, text, attribute values properly based on the information what we have. Here, employees, opening tag start with capital E, closing element start with small e. So this is invalid XML element. I have tried creating part-time employee detail, but the first child, which is part-time, and only one child element I have for employees. This is because of small e, the entire XML document will become invalid. I have to make the closing tag with capital E, or I have to make the opening tag as small e. Then only the element, the entire XML document will be valid, otherwise it will be invalid. Part-time / part-time. Can we have hyphen here? Yes, we can have hyphen here. This is valid. And the part-time, which is having employee as a child, part-time employee, part-time is a opening element which is carrying one child. What is that? Employee. ID part-time 001. Another attribute, name equal to Kirtana, which has been double quoted properly. And closing, this is angle bracket also given properly. And the text sound engineer has been given for this employee Kirtana, which is working as sound engineer. She is working as a sound engineer and her employee ID is PT001. Okay, but one more mistake with this element. If I want to keep this element as a child for part-time, the sense it should be written here only. It should not be written here itself. Part-time. So this is right, because the element employee, which is having part-time, which is having employee. I wanted to create employee element with part-time, full-time employees. I can say the part-time is a child which is having more than one employees, which are included as child. But this employee element will be repeated more than once. I have repeated the same employee element more than once for part-time. And also I want to have another category of employee, they are full-time. I want to repeat same the 3 employee for full-time also, so that the part-time employees, then full-time employees I need, in the sense it should not be written here. So this is only the right document. I can create a new document also here. This is, I would like to create new element, like, just a minute, I can start with the question mark XML version equal to within double quotes 1.0, then UTF, this we will be giving. After this, in this I would like to start with employee, company, Chennai branch, and I would like to have part-time employee, part-time, and slash part-time. Now I would like to have full-time employee also. The full-time employee, what I have, slash full-time. Let us have employee. Can I have same employee here? No, because already I have employee. So better I can make it as employees. Now I can have employee, Kirtana. Here I would like to specify any child element or attribute, in the sense that I have to include properly. Now I don't want to have all this. Just I have closed this. Can I repeat the same employee? Yes, I can repeat employee, same employee element, but I should not create again Kirtana here. Why? Syntactically this is right, but in a company more than one Kirtana will be there, that we can include. So as per the record, if I want to keep another Kirtana, yes, in the sense I can have no restriction for this. Actually these are considered as record, employee, employee. In the same way, each and every record can be created under part-time. The same way for full-time also I can create an employee. Slash employee. I have created properly, and slash employees I have closed properly. So I can say my XML document has followed the 6 rules. Only one root tag, yes we have, and all the elements are having opening and closing tag. Yes, all elements, part-time, full-time, employees, all employee also having opening and closing elements. Attribute values double quoted. Yes, company is an attribute. Chennai is a value, it is double quoted. And I haven't used any entities. If I use any entities, that should be referred or described well in my XML document, but I don't have any entities, user defined entities. Special entities, if I want to use, in the sense no need to describe. And hierarchy has been followed properly. I have closed part-time. For the part-time I have employee, so employee has been closed first, then only part-time has been closed. So I can say my XML document has followed the hierarchy on elements, and case also followed properly. Part-time, part-time, full-time I have used small f, has been closed with small f. So this entire XML document is valid semantically as well as syntactically. XML parser will consider only syntax, not semantics. That's all about this document creation. Can we use HTML tags in our XML document? Yes, we can use, but it won't consider as HTML element. XML will consider all XML tags, elements as user defined only. It won't consider, it won't understand whether the element is related to WML or related to HTML. According to this XML document creation, the elements are following normal naming rules. So it won't understand whether it is body tag or bold tag or italic or underline or HR horizontal rule. So this XML document is also valid document. This is not HTML tag, that we have to understand. In my XML document I have used body tag. Body tag, is it related to HTML? No, it is user defined. XML parser can understand that the author would like to create an element as body. This file will be saved with .xml extension. So XML parser is checking well-formedness of an XML document. I can say it won't check any semantics. I can give any text, I can give any attribute, I can give any attribute values. As an author, we have to consider the 6 rules and also the self-descriptive manner of an XML document. While creating an element for XML document, we have to consider the XML element will explore itself. In that way, we have to create element properly. That's all about this. Thank you for watching this. Have a nice day.